everybody, this is Stephanie Janicek. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's talk about the character assassination and murder of Luke Skywalker. So here we are, farm boy turned Grandmaster Jedi, one of the greatest Jedis of the galaxy. Basically, in the new Disney canon is a failure, so let's talk about this. George Lucas created a character that was based on King Arthur and other legends all over the world. And he took those ideas from a book written by this man, Joseph Campbell. The book is called A Hero with a Thousand Faces, and everybody should read it. So let's go. Let's talk about Luke. Luke, when we meet him in Star Wars, A New Hope, is just a farm boy. He thinks his dad was the navigator on a spice freighter, and the man was killed. So he doesn't really have a clue as to how special he was. He runs into Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ben Kenobi, who tells him his father was a Jedi Knight. So Luke, after whatever his family is killed, and he follows Obi-Wan on a damn full mission to Alderaan, where they meet up with Han Solo, who will become Luke's best friend and brother. They rescue Leia, who's the third of this trio, and the princess, and in the end, Luke, with Han's help, blows up the Death Star. Both of them become heroes. Both of them become more than what they seem, because they were more than what they seem. Next we meet Luke. He's on Hoth. He gets attacked by a Wampa. Han goes out, risks his life to save him. Luke ends up on Dagobah training with the great Jedi Master Yoda. Leaves Yoda to help Han and Leia. Ends up in a fight with Darth Vader and discovers he is more than what he seems. He's Darth Vader's son. So Luke's identity is flipped twice now. So next time we see Luke, he's a Jedi. He goes to save Han on Tatooine and basically lays waste to Jabba's sail barge. And in doing so, he gains something that most people don't gain, a brotherhood with Han Solo. He'd been there for Han, saved Han. Han had saved him. They were indebted to each other. And that is a big deal. That is a bonding experience that doesn't break. And he also gains a sister when he finds out that Leia is his twin sister. So what did Luke gain? Something that he hadn't had. Family. He gained a family. And he did the one thing that no one thought he could do. He basically helped his father turn back to the light and become Anakin Skywalker, I guess the chosen one, according to George Lucas, who would bring balance to the Force. And when Darth Vader kills the Emperor, he does. So in the end, at the Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker is not just any Jedi. He is a Jedi that changed everything. He becomes Grand Master Jedi and the hero that George Lucas meant him to be. So what happened? What happened? What the fuck happened? Well, let's go through this. When we meet Luke Skywalker at the end of The Force Awakens, he's standing on an island and turns around and looks at this girl named Rey. Next time we see him, he's asking Rey who she is. He doesn't want anything to do with it. She tells him she was sent from Leia, the Resistance, and Leia needs his help. He just ignores her. We don't understand. He's just not Luke Skywalker anymore. We don't know who he is. Then we find out that he felt so much darkness in his nephew, Han and Leia's son, Ben, that he actually contemplated murdering him. Now I want you to hold that thought. This was the young man who saw so much light in Darth Vader that he felt like he could turn him back to the light side, and that would help defeat the Emperor and the Empire. Okay, that's Luke Skywalker. So now we've got Luke Skywalker who contemplated murdering his own nephew instead of talking to him about what was going on. Now, we all know that George Lucas based Luke partially on himself. I mean, we got George Lucas, Luke Skywalker, you can see it. And I honestly can't imagine how he felt seeing that beautiful character that is the pivotal character in the original trilogy, raked over the coals and ransacked. And Disney's crew will say, well, we want to introduce the new heroes. Why would you do that to Luke Skywalker? Well, I mean, This is blatant outright character assassination. That's exactly what it is. It is absolute character assassination because it doesn't fit who Luke was at the end of Return of the Jedi. I don't care what the new canon says. I mean, I don't care. You know, the new canon is crap. I've been saying this for months. Why? Why is it crap? Because it's shoving an agenda down our throats. It's not good writing. It is not good storytelling. The only agenda that George Lucas ever had in making Star Wars and creating Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia was to tell a good story. The fight of good against evil, all right? The immortal argument between the light and dark side of humanity, right? That's what it was about. Okay, then along comes Disney with their agenda pushing. And they destroyed Han Solo, now and his character arc, and they destroyed Luke Skywalker and his character arc. There's Luke. You know, first off, he goes wandering around the galaxy like Qui-Chain Kane looking for the first Jedi Temple. Then, when we find him on Ahch-To, he doesn't want anything to do with it. He doesn't want to help his sister. The sister he didn't know he had until about, halfway through Return of the Jedi. And the sister he would have done anything for. All right? He doesn't want to help her. And when he's told that Han was murdered by that piece of shit, worthless waste of DNA, Kylo Ren, he's just, you don't even see any emotion. That wasn't just his best friend, that was his brother. And I'm not just saying blood brother, I'm saying brother in the way that soldiers that go through hell together are brothers. I'm saying the kind of guy that says, I miss the camaraderie of being on the battlefield with my friends out there because I knew they had my back. That kind of brotherhood. That's the bond he shared with Han Solo. He just sits there. All right? No, I don't know. Maybe something deep and affirming was trying to be conveyed there, but all I saw was, oh, okay. You know, what the actual fuck? So then we find out all the stuff about Ben Solo and, you know, Rey gets the truth out of Luke. And because, of course, we have to have Rey actually taking everything that Shitstain, Kylo Ren, is saying to her as actual fact until she talks to Luke. And then she decides, to hell with it. I sense light in this asshole. I'm going to go and see if I can fix it. Why would she do that? Okay, so she leaves Luke on Ahch-To. You know, all this, he never leaves. He never goes to his sister's aid except through a force projection. It is outrageous. You turn a story of self-sacrifice and selflessness, compassion, which is the hallmark of Luke Skywalker, to a self-centered, bitter, sad, old man. And let's not even talk about the milking of that alien, whatever the fuck that was. I literally almost threw up. Okay, that was gross. We did not need to see him do that. And that was literally, I don't even want to talk about it. I was so disappointed in what they did, what Rian Johnson did to Skywalker. But I think, in some ways, it was knifing George Lucas himself. I don't know why. I don't know what Lucas did to them. I really, really don't. I'd like them to spell it out. Maybe they're just still pissed off about the prequels. But let me tell you something about the prequels. The Last Jedi was so awful, it made Attack of the Clones look like an Oscar-winning film. Nothing to do with who Luke was. Nothing to do with his journey. Just like what they did to Han. It's nothing more than, let's get all these white guys out of here so we can put our candy-coated version of Star Wars up there so the casual film audience who doesn't think, they're all just a bunch of mindless sheep, comes and watches our movies and we make a pile of money. That's it. Has no meaning. The thing about Star Wars, the Star Wars that George Lucas created, is it had meaning. All right? That's what it had. Meaning. And it had depth. It had flow. It had, and of course there were problems with the first movies. There were a lot of problems with the prequels, but you know what? They were still Star Wars. There was still something about it that kept up the ideas of heroism, of good versus evil, the choices you make define your reality at a point, and your destiny. And your destiny doesn't always have to be the bad thing. And that's the thing about what Lucas was trying to convey with Anakin Skywalker. And that's the thing that Lucas was trying to convey with Luke. Alright? And Han and Leia. Okay? But you guys at Disney, Rian Johnson, who's an arrogant, insufferable, pompous asshole, you went and destroyed everything because you guys think you can do better. You guys think you're wiser than George Lucas. You guys, Pablo Hidalgo, Rian Johnson, you pompous, arrogant, insufferable ass, and Kathleen Kennedy think you know more about Star Wars than the man who created it. And you know more about Luke Skywalker than the man who created it. First off, you talk about realism. It's a fairy tale. It's fantasy. Did you ever think about that? Why are you trying to sell realism in Star Wars? I mean, I don't get you people. I don't get it. You're trying to make it for a younger audience. Why can't you keep the spirit of the stories up and make it for a younger audience? I could. I'm not a filmmaker. I have friends in Hollywood that have given their right arms to be able to be part of this, to direct these movies, and they would have done a hell of a lot better, would have made more beautiful stories, would have respected Lucas and respected Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill far more than you people. I am absolutely apoplectic over what you did to Han, but what you did to Skywalker, what you did to Luke, is beyond the pale. This is character assassination. This is murder of a character. This is absolutely bullshit. This is absolute bullshit, and it will not stand. You've done everything you could to destroy the OT. You destroyed everything they fought for, everything they built together, everything. And then you were told, well, people don't always do this. What do you know about that? You're a bunch of Hollywood people who go through wives and girlfriends and boyfriends at a rate I can't even imagine. You have no idea what commitment means. You have no idea what it means to go through hell. You have absolutely no idea what it means to live through a war, what it means to go through traumatic experiences. But you're going to tell us what would happen if something bad happened to those three characters after everything bad that did happen to them. And we're all just supposed to believe it. We're all just supposed to, you know what? Fuck you, okay? You can take your ill-gotten gains with Disney, but I'm going to tell you something. And this is going to be from Yoda on the mountaintop. You can't take it with you, and everybody ends up in the same damn place. You just remember that. Because I'll tell you something, Rian Johnson. I'll tell you something, Pablo Hidalgo. No one's going to ever remember you. But everyone's going to remember George Lucas, Harrison Ford, and Mark Hamill. You just remember that. You have done nothing but drop the ball. You had an opportunity to make something really great, and instead, you sold out, which is unforgivable. This is Stephanie, signing out, Part 3, the character assassination and murder of Princess Leia is coming up.